Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ask an Assistant, the podcast for executive assistants and the people that love us. I'm your host, Jess Lindgren. Let's get to work. Quick note up top, it is back to school time here in August 2025, and I am running a supply drive for Syracuse City Schools. You can check out, if you have the time, interest, resources, what have you, the link for the wish list at jesslindgren.com/school. That is my name, jesslindgren.com/school. Links and other details are in the show notes as well. Every box of snacks makes a difference to Syracuse area children, and your support is so appreciated. Thank you. Moving right along, I am not featuring a listener question this week, but I encourage anyone who has one burning a hole in their brain to write in via askanassistant.com. I always love to hear from you. This week's topic comes from yours truly because it has been a season of trying not to slap people through their screens when they try to set up meetings that could have been an email. And by a season, I mean 20 years of being an administrative professional. A particularly egregious example recently, someone reached out and asked to set up a meeting with me, not an executive, with me. You know me, I'm happy to help. But before offering date and time options, I asked this person what the topic is and what I might be able to best prepare in advance, as these questions will help me offer the best options based on my availability and workload. This person responds that they need an account set up on a platform that we already have an account set up on. So I share the credentials via 1Password and call it a day. You know that I immediately followed up to offer to still meet if they need anything else. But no, this is all that they needed. That's it. Credentials for an account that they could have found themselves in 1Password, but asked me for a 30-minute meeting instead. It's things like this that just, I've had people, another example that comes to mind, I had an executive at a company I worked at. Thankfully, this was not my direct report, but this person needed some edits made to a document. And instead of sending me the document, either a printed copy with their handwritten notes or a quick summary via email of what they wanted to see, they came to my office without setting a time and just showed up and assumed I'd be free. And of course, for this person, I had to make myself free. And they sat there with their printed copy and pulled up a chair next to me. This was an office space where I had a desk that was literally larger than the studio apartment I was living in at the time. Not the office, the desk, mind you. The desk itself was huge. That's a different story for a different day, but it had one chair behind it. So we had to go to another office, find a chair for this person to sit down next to me while they walked through page by page all of the changes that they wanted me to make. They literally, and this was 2005, 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. They literally, even back then, 20 years ago, could have sent me all the changes they wanted via an email. Things like this make me so grateful for my present executive. We've been working together over a decade. We have a super solid shorthand. We communicate almost exclusively in questions, FYIs, and action items via Slack. We meet once a week, always more when needed. I always have the flexibility. He always makes himself available. But typically, we are able to make things work. Communication in Slack, meet once a week by phone. When we first started working together, we used to try to meet on Skype. We used to try to meet on Zoom. We used to try to meet on FaceTime. And it just inevitably, my executive lives in Southern California, which anybody who lives there or has visited there knows that with all the terrain of California, there's a lot of microclimates that can happen, but there's also a lot of internet connectivity issues that can and do happen. And 9 times out of 10, the audio over video would be super tinny, or it just, for whatever reason, wasn't connecting. And especially when we were both living in California, it was even worse. So thankfully, very early on in our tenure, before I even moved to California, we switched very quickly to just connecting by phone. Like no time spent waiting for a Zoom update, waiting for the computer to figure itself out. No time like, oh, my connection's bad. Oh, can you hear me? Like, no, we're hopping on the phone and we're just getting through. So we really try to meet once a week, not messing around with streaming video, being in touch via Slack all day, every day, and keep it to 30 minutes or less when we meet by phone. We both have way too much to do. We don't have time to hop on meetings that could, and let's be real, in the examples that I gave earlier, should have been an email. I will absolutely, happily, joyously meet with anyone at any time if it is truly warranted. As an executive assistant who works in a company of 2, it's me and my executive, with a handful of contractors and a lot of people that we interface with on one-off requests and issues, I lead a very solitary professional existence. I absolutely crave connection and absolutely make people get on the phone all the time whenever I can, especially when complex scheduling is involved. Different topic for a different day. We'll talk about that soon. But I am not getting on the phone, and I am certainly not getting camera ready for something like setting up an account or sharing existing account credentials. I have been, over the course of 20 years, slowly but surely been training those around me to think about whether or not something truly needs to be a face-to-face or even voice-to-voice meeting. When I was a contractor for the first several years working with my executive, I could always beg off like, hey, I'm a contractor. Legally, you can't make me sit in this meeting at this time. I can agree to it, but I don't have to. And after that, needing to sit in on important time-sensitive meetings with other people, my time was very expensive. And I was just like, think long and hard. Do you really want to pay my hourly rate for me? Like, am I bringing something essential to this meeting? Am I bringing something that you can't get anywhere else or that you can't send me a quick summary of afterward? Like, do I really need to sit in a 2-hour meeting for something that doesn't concern me? If you want to pay me for it and I can sit on my exercise bike or take a walk, sure, go ahead. But like, truly, A, as a contractor, you can't make me. And B, my time is too expensive. And even now, as a salaried person who's been, again, with my executive and various people for over a decade, I still make people think long and hard about it. Like, I am so happy to participate if you really need and want my expertise. But at the end of the meeting, if I haven't spoken, I'm not attending the next one. And if I give you feedback, action items, ideas, and none of them ever get used, I am going to try to talk my way out of each and every meeting. But yeah, again, super happy to participate when I am needed, when I am valued, when I am absolutely integral to the success of the meeting. But really trying to train it into people. Do we truly need to meet about this? Does it need to be on video? Does it need to be a voice meeting? Harkening back to last week's episode, Ask an Assistant, episode 79, about being busy, I have found that the worst meeting requesting offenders often complain about being the busiest and not having time to get me the things that I ask for on time. Stop taking a million meetings. You will be amazed, I promise, by how much you can get done when you're not meeting to talk about what you need to get done. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And that's all for this week. If you would like to support the show, I am on Substack and Patreon. Links are in the show notes. I hope you're all happy, healthy, and hydrated as you can be. And as always, leave your comments, questions, thoughts, and concerns for me at askanassistant.com. And until next week, take care.